There's a kind of battle that happens far from the eyes of the world. It takes place in the silence of empty rooms, in the early hours of the morning when no one is watching, and in moments of inner conflict that leave no scars on the outside. For the chosen one, the real war is never about loud victories or public battles. It's always the quiet, personal fight for survival, identity, and clarity. This silent battle is where strength is not only discovered but also defined. There are no cheering crowds, no applause to affirm the effort, and no one to share the burden with. It's just the chosen one facing wave after wave of emotional, mental, and spiritual storms. Loneliness is often mistaken for weakness, but for those on a divine mission. Solitude is the arena where purpose sharpens itself. In the isolation, they confront who they really are. They meet the broken versions of themselves, the unhealed traumas, the buried doubts, and all the fears they pretended not to carry. This is where most turn back, but the chosen one endures. They don't always understand why they were set apart or why their life feels so drastically different from others. But even through the confusion, they keep walking. Every day in this battle is a test of faith, patience, and vision. There are moments they cry out for answers, beg for release, and still receive none. And yet, they wake up the next day and do it all over again, proving that their strength is not built on motivation, but on mission. While others rely on external validation, the chosen one becomes self-sustaining. Their growth isn't measured in recognition, but in resilience. They learn how to stand in the fire without flinching, how to stay rooted when the ground beneath them trembles, and how to trust divine timing when nothing around them makes sense. It's in the silent battle that their intuition becomes sharp, their spirit becomes unbreakable, and their connection with the divine becomes more intimate than ever before. No mentor, no guide, and no partner can walk this part of the journey with them. It's tailor-made, customized, sacred. They are taught directly by pain and elevated by persistence. Everything they face in private becomes the very foundation of the power they will carry in public. The silent battle is where they are emptied and rebuilt. It is the unseen crucible that separates them from the crowd. Others may mistake their calm demeanor for ease, but the chosen one knows the price of that peace. They didn't stumble into it. They fought for it in silence. What they endured alone becomes their quiet superpower, a source of strength that no one can steal, because no one else walked through what they did. The silent battle is not punishment, it is preparation. It doesn't just build them, it reveals them. The world may never fully understand what it took for them to stand tall, but they know, and that knowing is everything. The chosen one never volunteers for the mission. It is given, often before they even understand what it truly means to be chosen. From a young age, there are since moments of deep inner knowing, unusual sensitivity, spiritual insight, or an unexplainable sense of separation from the rest. They may have felt different without knowing why, called to something higher, though unable to name it. Their path is not decided by personal ambition, but by a divine blueprint woven into the fabric of their soul. It's not a life of comfort or convention, but one of purpose that often comes at great cost. This divine assignment doesn't always arrive with clarity. In fact, it usually unfolds through chaos, heartbreak, betrayal, and deep loss. It's not wrapped in light, it's revealed through the breaking. Through these experiences, the chosen one is gradually awakened to their calling, not because they chased it, but because it would not stop chasing them. There are times when they run from it, deny it, or question it altogether. But the mission always finds a way to pull them back. People often envy the idea of being chosen, imagining it as a path of glory or divine favor. But those who truly carry the mantle know it's more about responsibility than recognition. The weight of the assignment is heavy, especially because it often comes with silence from the divine. Instructions are given in whispers, signs are scattered like puzzle pieces, and progress is invisible for long stretches. The chosen one has to move by faith, not by sight. They are asked to let go of relationships, places, and identities that no longer align, even when the cost is loneliness or misunderstanding. They are refined through rejection, and rejection becomes confirmation. They are not called to fit in, but to lead. This assignment often isolates them from the crowd because what they carry cannot be diluted. Their energy shifts rooms, their presence convicts hearts, and their words stir awakening in those around them. They may not always know why certain things happen to them, but they sense it's never random. There's a divine hand orchestrating even the darkest chapters for a greater purpose. And as time passes, the chosen one begins to surrender not out of weakness, but because they recognize the power of obedience. They accept that they were born to break generational chains, to be the voice in silence and the light in dark places. Their very existence becomes a message, a testimony of divine design. The mission may be quiet and lonely, but its impact is far-reaching and eternal. Every experience becomes a lesson, every wound becomes a source of wisdom, and every sacrifice becomes a seed of transformation. The chosen one learns that being selected means being set apart, not to be praised, but to prepare the way. And while the journey is filled with trials, the assignment is sacred. They carry what others cannot, endure what others won't, and lead where others fear to go. Because the mission was written in their soul long before they ever knew its name. Crown that rests on the head of the chosen one is not given out of pity, popularity, or privilege. It is earned in a realm far removed from what people see or celebrate. Every part of it is forged through endurance, through nights of tears that never found a comforting shoulder, through losses that shattered them in silence, through battles they fought with no help and no audience. The world sees the outcome, the aura, the wisdom, the strength, but very few understand the fire that produced it. This crown is invisible at first. There's no ceremony when the chosen one is anointed, only pain disguised as process. They are often crushed before they are crowned, buried before they rise. People may mock them, overlook them, or try to break them, never realizing they're provoking the very transformation that sets them apart. The chosen one doesn't ascend through shortcuts or favors. Every step forward is carved with effort. Every gain is made at the cost of something precious, and every blessing comes wrapped in trials. What others take for granted, they had to bleed for. The wisdom they carry wasn't taught in classrooms, it was downloaded through experience. Through facing betrayal, abandonment, spiritual warfare, and internal storms that would have destroyed anyone else. The more they endure, the stronger they become, not because they enjoy the pain, but because they've learned how to turn wounds into wisdom and scars into strength. Their crown is unseen at first, often even to themselves, but the world begins to notice the shift in energy. People start to feel something different when they enter the room. It's not arrogance or ego, it's the presence of someone who has overcome, someone who knows their power because they earned it. This energy cannot be faked or replicated. It comes from walking through fire and coming out refined, not burned. The chosen one wears their crown not to dominate others, but to serve with authority rooted in experience. They don't need to convince anyone of who they are. Their journey speaks louder than their words ever could. They rise because they refuse to stay down, and every fall only trained them to fly higher. The crown doesn't come when the world claps, it comes when the soul aligns. It's a quiet coronation, recognized not by the masses, but by the heavens. The chosen one realizes that being crowned is not about shining. It's about carrying a responsibility to lead, to heal, to awaken. They become a light for others, not because they sought the spotlight, but because they walked faithfully through the shadows. Their reward is not just the crown itself, but the clarity, power, and divine favor that follows those who have completed their training in the hidden places. The crown is a reflection of everything they survived, everything they outgrew, and everything they've become. It is not a decoration, it's a divine declaration. It signifies that they are no longer who they were, but exactly who they were always meant to be. You were never meant to blend in, because you were born to break through. Your journey as the chosen one is not defined by ease, but by elevation. Every silent battle you fought, every divine assignment you accepted without clarity, and every trial that crowned you in fire was never in vain. You are proof that destiny favors the disciplined. That greatness is born in isolation, and that divine favor often comes dressed in adversity. The crown you now carry wasn't handed to you, it was forged through endurance, sacrifice, and unwavering faith. So walk boldly, knowing your story carries weight, your presence shifts atmospheres, and your mission is far from over. The world may never fully understand what it cost you, but the heavens have already marked your steps. Thank you for walking this journey with me today. If this message resonated with your spirit, know that it wasn't by accident. You were meant to hear this. Stay strong, stay aligned, and never forget who you are.